Okay, we left off just looking at the syllabus, and here I want to go into part 2 of our orientation and talk to you how to get onto Comp Class and what Comp Class is all about. There are instructions here in the syllabus as I showed, and then if you scroll down under Course Basics, this gives you the information that you will need to find our specific class in Comp Class and sign up. The course name, the section number, etc. So let me go ahead and show you that. Comp Class and Safari are not compatible, so I'm going to use my Firefox browser and show you Comp Class. Here is Comp Class. First off, if you bought a book that has a Comp Class activation code, you're going to register the activation code here. You put in the activation code, your name, create a password, and then you have to find our class. So this is where you're going to need, I can't do it without putting in an activation code, but this is where you're going to need our section number, my name, the course name, etc. that I have included on the Blackboard site. If you're deciding not to buy a hard copy of the Bedford Researcher, you can purchase just the access to Comp Class right here and follow the instructions. Once you get set up, you might also want to bookmark this page, but I do have it bookmarked in Blackboard and I'll show you. Let's log into our class. Let's try that again. So yours will look a little different since this is the instructor mode. Let me fix this. Here is what our course will look like. Notice that I have the due dates all listed here on the side. Comp Class due dates are Sundays at 11:59 p.m. If you look at these top tabs, the two that we're going to be using the most are research lessons and research quizzes. Then of course there's a link to the Bedford Researcher ebook and your grades. We will not be using journals and discussion unless I say otherwise. So what you do is you look here at your first due dates. They are the lessons orientation and overview and MLA document format proficiency. You select research lessons and choose the corresponding title. And then you go through and select each of these, read or watch what's included, go through the tutorials, and be sure you go through every part of the lesson. All parts. In this first one, you have to do a course pretest, which is going to take you a little while. When you're done with the lesson, you take the corresponding research quiz. So we would take the orientation and overview quiz. Once that's done, you can go on to the next one. Go through the lesson and take the corresponding quiz. You can take the quiz twice, trying to get a higher score. You're aiming for 70% or above. Unfortunately, you can't see what you got wrong because that would kind of defeat the purpose in some ways. So you just want to kind of go back and read through things. There's no harm in looking in your book to help you find the answers. This is meant to be a learning process of mastering the material. So I consider these quizzes to be open book. You will see that the most important thing is understanding the material so that you can be a good researcher and write a good paper. So this is Comp Class. You will be working in here independently. I have due dates set. I suggest, however, that you work ahead and get as much done as soon as you possibly can. So let's go back now to our course page in Blackboard. That was Comp Class. The next thing I want to show you is Turnitin.com. This is the other course site that we're going to be using. You will need this information to enroll in our class, a class ID and an enrollment password. This document walks you through how to log on to Turnitin.com and access our class and assignments. So this week you have to upload 2 different things to Turnitin.com, so that should be a clear indicator if anyone's having trouble with it. I think that the directions are pretty straightforward. The other things under course basics are using the Napa Valley College Library, which we will need more later, and just an overview of the weekly assignments. I'll be pinning this down in specific detail every week when I release the assignments, but I wanted you to see what is on deck for the full 8 weeks. So this is all the material listed here under course basics. Let's go to the next tab, which is weekly assignments. Each week you will find a new folder. So this is week 1's assignments. And I'm going to come back and talk about this week's assignments shortly. Next, we have due dates, and I've set up the due dates for the first 2 weeks of the session. I'm setting due dates for Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays to try to space things out for you. All due dates are 11:59 p.m. on the date listed, and I specify whether the assignment is due on Blackboard, Turnitin.com, or Comp Class. Comp Class, you'll be doing the lessons and quizzes due Sunday. On Blackboard, you'll mainly be doing discussion board participation, some quizzes, etc. But that is our course homepage. Most written assignments you will submit to Turnitin.com. We're using that site because it helps check for plagiarism and it has really great features for grading and peer review. So it's worth using it as an extra site. But here you see the due dates are all laid out for you. And I'm going to talk about these assignments when we go back and go over week 1's assignments in more detail. The next button is for the discussion forum. I've already set up our discussion forums for week 1 and week 2, so you can see those. I have this button, Ask Questions, here. Most of the questions you have are going to be ones that other people in the class have as well, and they'll benefit from the answers. So instead of emailing me immediately, if you have a question about the course that you believe is a general question others could benefit from, please post it here and I'll respond. Hopefully we'll get some good posts and responses going, and then when you have a question you can check here first and see if it's already been answered. If you have a personal question about a grade or something just concerning you, that's when you'll want to use email, or this next button here, a course message. We can communicate internally in Blackboard. It's like email in that you're sending private messages. However, it can only be accessed when you're logged on to Blackboard. So if I wanted to send a message, I would create a message. I could click to, and all of you are listed here, and send my message as usual. But again, these only work within Comp Class. And by the way, make sure that in WebAdvisor your email address is current, because that's what I'll be using to communicate with you. Then I have our link to Comp Class and a link to Turnitin.com, where you can log in, or what you're going to be doing is creating an account. Here I have a link to a really helpful website. It helps with MLA format. It's just phenomenal, but it also has information about any kind of writing. It's the Purdue University Writing Lab, so I encourage you to use this site as an extra resource. And then tools, help, student services, those are just other things that can be helpful to you as you're completing the course. So we reviewed all of these buttons and how to access CompClass and Turnitin.com.